Hello, class. So, as I've been reflecting on this class and what we've learned, one of the big things that stuck out for me is the FBA process, the Functional Behavioral Assessment process. It tongue ties me every time I say it, though. And just how grateful I am that I finally am able to understand this process and everything that goes into it. I think me and I assume many of you have heard this term used over this program and then over just time in schools, and it's just been kind of confusing, like what is this actual process, and it's just so vaguely talked about. And so being able to really go in depth with making this PowerPoint on it and having to know it so well I can describe it was really encouraging and helpful to me, I think, and just understanding each of the steps with the indirect and the direct recordings and reporting on that, and then being able to bring it all together to this behavioral assessment, which is all based on the idea that behavior is purposeful and has intent and meaning, and just seeing it as the whole was really helpful in understanding terms like antecedents and setting events and all that. I think it's been really beneficial to me and helped me as a teacher as I grow. And while I think a lot of these methods are really overwhelming, with the indirect recording, the ABC recording, the interval recordings, and all the others, it can be a little overwhelming trying to remember what each one is and try to figure out how to do each one best. And remember, I can imagine as a teacher just remembering to do it during your day when you're also trying to remember to teach a lesson and manage other students' behaviors and this and that. I can imagine it can be kind of overwhelming, but I do, and I agree with what a lot has been said, is that while it is a kind of hard tool to use and it takes a lot of work, generally I think it is really worth it. However, as I've just reflected on some of my experiences and some of the communities I've worked in, areas I've been in with a lot of low-income areas and classrooms where they have, where you're going to have 25, 26 or more students in a classroom as a teacher, and you're trying to do these ABC recordings, but you're going to need it for almost every one of them because of all the different behaviors that you have going on in the class. I think this is a really challenging thing to do, and more challenging than maybe worth it for this exact process, to try to do it with every student, because all the paperwork that's required would end up being 80 hours extra work a week. And so that's where I kind of struggle with this process, and that's something I've thought through a lot. How can this process be better? How can we improve this process to fit all students of all areas and grades? And so that's kind of what I've been processing through. But either way, I think that this the book we read, Reed and Ritchie's book, The Behavior Management, I think was so helpful, and is really going to be, or just their mindset that they put towards education is so healthy, and their thoughts are just on just fixing instruction first, and their in-depth on the positive behaviors to sports, and their explanations of how those just fit in as just natural things in the school environment, and how you can make that work so well is, I think, really encouraging and really works well overall. But as I think about and reflect on my original thoughts on what model I kind of think is the best behavioral model, I had chosen the ecological model originally, and I still believe that the ecological model is really important, because a big thing to me is family, and that a child is not just a child in themselves, but they are a child in an environment. They have parents, they have siblings, and that strongly affects who they are and what they become. And so, I think that's important. I think I've really gained a lot of respect and understanding of the behavioral model. I think in previous classes I've kind of looked at it as kind of a lesser model, like early, more Neanderthalish almost, because it's basic and in the learning theory, where Piaget is a little more emphasized in his stages of development, and Erikson's and Kohlberg are just seen as more higher level, are more important ones, I guess, and focused on, and behavior is kind of put in the background. I think that in this method especially, I see a lot of the benefits of the behavioral model and just how that really works to improve. You can use that to improve a child's life, and so I've really appreciated this class, and it's helped me get a broader view of all the educational models and appreciate them more and understand where they come from more. And I'm just really excited and hope I'm able to integrate this into my classroom and the experiences with that.